Hey, what's up guys? My name is Mario. On this video, we're gonna check out the Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus. I'm gonna give you my updated experience. I got this phone last year when it was released, and it's 2018. A lot of people are thinking about buying it. So we're gonna talk about the battery performance, the efficiency, the physical design, the camera, and everything else that is important on the phone in 2018. The first thing that I want to talk about is the battery. If you get the S8, you're going to get 3000 milliamp battery. If you get the S8 Plus, you're going to have 3500 milliamp battery. When I first got the S8 Plus, I was basically going through a whole day with a battery charge. That meant I basically charged it overnight. I woke up in the morning, I used it all day at work, I used it all day at home. I was watching YouTube videos, playing video games, multitasking, basically everything that I needed to do with the phone. And by the end of the day, sometimes I will have 20%, 30%. At night, I will go to sleep, and even if I forgot to charge the phone, I will wake up next morning and I will still have some battery charge left on it. The problem is that as I've been using it after a couple of months, after 6 months, I have noticed that the battery is not performing the same way. On a regular basis, usually I will go through a whole day and will be left with probably maybe 5% towards the end of the day. And I'm talking about 8 or 9 o'clock. Sometimes by 4 or 5 o'clock, I will basically be at maybe 15%, 20%, and I have to recharge the battery. If you're gonna get the S8 Plus or the S8 in 2018, and if you're thinking about getting a used one, just make sure you consider that you're not gonna get the same battery performance that you're gonna get if the phone was new. And if you want to replace the battery, that's going to cost you a lot more money because the battery is actually built in. You're not going to be able to just go online and purchase a battery and just put it on yourself. So that may cost you between $50 to $80 depending on where you check. Another thing to point out, it does come with fast wireless charging, but in reality, I hardly ever use it. To me, it's just not very convenient. And don't get me wrong, I have a wireless charger in the office, I have a wireless charger in my room, but usually I just stick to using the cable because at the end of the day, I want to make sure that when I put the phone and it's charging, I want to make sure it's charging. Sometimes when I was using the wireless charger, I would not set the phone correctly, or I put it to the side where, yeah, at the beginning it will start charging, but then for some reason it will just stop receiving the charge, and then I will go back and check again and the phone didn't charge. Next, I want to talk about the camera. In the front, you're going to have an 8 megapixel camera, which is going to do an awesome job taking selfies. If you want to make video callings or just video messaging, it's going to do an outstanding job. It's not going to do the best in low light scenarios, but you're still going to get a pretty decent shot. What does a great job is the rear camera in the back, which is going to have 12 megapixels. That one's going to do an excellent job in low light scenario. Of course, it's not going to be the best of the best. If you want to talk about the best of the best, you probably want to go check out the Pixel. But the S8 Plus and the S8, they're still going to give you an awesome video quality, an awesome picture quality if you're using the rear camera. When it comes to the camera, the S8 Plus is always my backup. I always have it with me. And I never doubted that this phone is going to let me down when it comes to shooting video or taking pictures. So in 2018, having a good camera is very important, especially if you're using Instagram, Snapchat, or Facebook. If you want to do a live stream or you just want to take pictures, I can assure you that the Galaxy S8 Plus and the S8, they're definitely not going to let you down. They're going to perform very well and they're going to do an awesome job. Next, I want to talk about the physical design. The screen is going to come on 5.8 inches or 6.2 inches, depending on which model you get. And that Infinity display screen, to me, it's probably one of the best screens I've ever seen on a phone. And I know a lot of people don't like it when they see it, but I gotta tell you, once you start using it, you will not look at another phone the same way, especially if that phone has bezels. In reality, you're not gonna have the phone all the time without a case because the Gorilla Glass panel in the back, that's pretty fragile. And a lot of people that have used this phone and drop it, some people have reported that they drop it probably sometimes within 3 feet and the actual glass broke. You're gonna wanna have a case on this phone, and that's kinda gonna take away from it. Also, it is gonna be a fingerprint magnet. Usually if I take it off the case and I clean it up, by the time I put it back in the case, I can already see all those fingerprints in the back. Having that audio jack is also a big plus for me. To me, in 2018, I still wanna have my audio jack. I still have a lot of headphones. To me, I really don't like using Bluetooth technology to connect to the headphones. I always forget to charge them, and I'm always on the go, and I want to be able to use it right away. I don't have time to plug it in, turn it on, make sure it's in sync, make sure it connects, and especially if it's out of battery. So for me, having an audio jack is very important. And on top of that, if you don't care about the audio jack, this phone is going to have a 5.0 Bluetooth technology, which is going to give you better sound quality, better experience. The range is going to be further out, and it's just going to give you an overall best experience. Where a lot of people made a big deal out of it is the location of the fingerprint sensor. I'm gonna be honest with you, at the beginning, it got some time getting used to it, but after using it for a while, I basically trained myself to know where the actual fingerprint sensor is, And honestly, I don't have any issues with it. I mean, sometimes I do touch the camera, but I don't have one picture where basically I can tell myself the fingerprint sensor basically messed up this picture. The iris scanner is another great feature to have to be able to unlock the phone, especially when your hands are tied up with something else and you can't use your finger, or when you wash your hands, sometimes your finger will be moist and the fingerprint sensor will not detect it very well. So that's when the actual iris scanner comes handy. One of the complaints that I probably will have is the location of the speaker and the quality of the speaker. If you're using the speaker mode on this phone, I mean, you're not gonna get the best sound quality, the best sound experience, especially if you're watching videos, or you're watching YouTube videos. The sound, sometimes it could be better. Next, I wanna talk about the performance. And I can assure you the S8 Plus or the S8, they're not gonna let you down in 2018. I'm very confident that these phones are gonna perform very well. I've been using this phone for a while, and there has not been one day where this phone actually will just basically upset me because the applications are not running fast enough, or the phone just starts lagging for long periods of time. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, maybe a couple of times it happened where I had a bunch of applications open and I kept going from one to another and the phone will freeze. But again, it will be like a quick freeze where I would just basically close the apps and it will work again. And it's not like it's happening all the time. Probably, if I can think of, it probably happened to me maybe 2 or 3 times since I had the phone. Another thing is some of the applications seems like they're not 100% compatible yet with this phone, and I don't know if it's because of the screen ratio, but sometimes if I put the applications to run in the background, or if I just open an app and I just open a second app, the application will crash, and the application that goes in the background, I will get a message that it will crash and close. And that happens pretty often, but other than that, I mean, I don't feel that that's an issue with the phone, but the actual support from the application itself, that they're not fixing the bugs. With 4 GB of RAM with this phone, I feel like you can pretty much multitask and you can have as many apps as you open. I mean, as much as you can handle. I do try to maintain it to work in optimum conditions, and that is why I'm constantly closing all the apps running in the background, and I take advantage of the device maintenance feature that will allow me to monitor, let me know which apps are slowing down the phone and even taking down the battery. Overall, I haven't had issues where the phone overheats while it's charging or while I'm using it. I know a few people have mentioned that they felt like the phone overheated after some time, but I guess if you're actually abusing or pushing the phone to the maximum, that's what's gonna happen. A lot of times they come with a lot of apps that you don't use that they get installed through Samsung, and on top of that, you get the apps that get installed through the carrier. For me, this particular phone, it's been doing very well. I haven't really had to go back and actually disable some of those apps or uninstall some of those apps, but that would be something good to do in 2018. And before we wrap up this video, the question is, how much should you pay for the S8 or the S8 Plus in 2018? Well, in early 2018, right now they're still having them as basically regular price. If you want to go to one of the carriers in the US, they're going to sell it to you for $750, the regular S8, and if you want to get the S8 Plus, it's going to cost you around $850. My advice to you is just wait. Don't buy it right now. Wait for the S9 to come out. You can probably get a good deal depending on the time. I'm thinking this phone has to go down between $400 and $600 when the market gets flooded with all the used phones on people trying to sell it. And the only thing you got to keep in mind is that check that battery. Before you buy it, try and see if you can get a good idea of how well that particular phone is performing with the battery, because probably within a year or so, you're probably gonna have to replace the battery, and you're gonna have to pay $50, $80 to have someone professionally remove the battery, put a new battery on so the phone still performs that well. Else you may have that issue where you're gonna have to recharge the phone throughout the day. And with that, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. I'm gonna have more follow-up videos. If you guys have any questions, concerns, make sure you leave them in the comment section below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.